25-year-old Maisie Arnold has been arrested and charged with the murder of his 24-year-old girlfriend, DeAndrea Funches. The events unfolded at around 2:50 a.m. on the 15th of February 2022, when the authorities responded to an apartment in the 300 block of West Galbraith Road in Cincinnati, Ohio, on reports of an unresponsive woman. When first responders arrived at the property, they declared the woman, who was identified as DeAndrea, as dead at the scene. DeAndrea lived at the address with her boyfriend Mazio and their 2 children. The coroner's office determined that DeAndrea's death was a homicide. It's reported that DeAndrea was so badly beaten that she was internally decapitated, meaning that her skull separated from the spinal column. On the 13th of July, the Cincinnati Police Department, with the assistance of the Fugitive Apprehension Unit, arrested and charged Mazio with DeAndrea's murder. DeAndrea's mother, Bernadette Davis, said that for months prior to Mazio's arrest, Mazio had told her that DeAndrea had died of a drug overdose, and she said the cause of death never sat well with her, or made sense. Bernadette said that she had been in contact with Mazio for months after her daughter's death, so she could talk to her grandchildren, and she wasn't even aware he was a suspect. She said she was only aware of the version of events after police arrested Mazio, and she read the brutal details online. She said it's really a shocker right now to find out that he is responsible, and that she's struggling to understand how this could have happened. She said, as far as I know about him, he seemed to be okay. The kids loved him. They had issues like any other couple. But I've never in a million years thought that this would have been the outcome of that situation. Mazio has been held at the Hamilton County Jail, with bond set at $750,000. 24-year-old Logan Lopez is behind bars after beating and stabbing his 53-year-old mother Mary Beth Lopez to death. The incident occurred at around 5 p.m. on the 17th of July 2022, when the authorities responded to a welfare check request at the Palms at Countryside apartment complex in Clearwater, Florida. A neighbor contacted 911 after hearing banging followed by a woman screaming for help coming from Logan's apartment. When officers knocked on the apartment door, Logan answered and told them he just killed somebody and the victim was inside. When officers entered the premises, they came across a brutal scene, finding Mary's badly beaten and lifeless bloody body inside. Logan was arrested without incident and questioned. The authorities said that Logan lured his mother to the apartment after plotting to kill her for a year. He asked her to drop off his mail, which had been sent to a family address. While there, Logan said he invited her inside, saying he wanted to show his mother his furniture. He told the investigators that as she came inside, he closed the door and came up behind her. He struck her and beat her with a hammer before stabbing her multiple times with a knife. While questioned, he told the investigators that he admitted to killing his mother because he claimed that she enslaved him, although police did not elaborate on these details. The authorities said that he knew that this was going to be what he did on this date. He lured her over for this purpose and wanted to put an end to her. Logan has no prior arrests, but in February, police said that he was taken for an evaluation under the Baker Act, a state law that allows people to be held involuntarily for mental health treatment. Logan is held at the Pinellas County Jail and is charged with first-degree murder. 16-year-old Charlize Bell has been charged with manslaughter over the smothering death of her 3-year-old sister. The incident occurred shortly after 6 p.m. on the 15th of July 2022, when officers responded to a call of an unresponsive child at the Mainstay Suites Hotel in Altamont Springs, Florida. When first responders arrived, they transported the baby to a local hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Investigators questioned the child's mother, who told them that she had been working on a laptop in the hotel bedroom as her daughter stayed in the living quarters. She said the baby was being loud, so she asked Charlize to keep her quiet as she took a call for work. Investigators discovered that Charlize placed a pillow over her sister to get her to quieten down. It was quiet for about 10 minutes, and Charlize went back to the room and found her sister unresponsive. Charlize abruptly entered her mother's bedroom while carrying her sister's limp body whose lips were turning blue. The girl's mother said she called 911 while trying to give the toddler CPR. A dispatcher then asked if the family had a defibrillator, prompting someone who was believed to be Charlize to respond, "We do not have anything. We're not home. We do not have a home." Charlize was arrested and charged with manslaughter. Charlize told investigators after she was detained that she was responsible for caring for her sister during the weekdays, as her mother worked from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The authorities said that Charlize is not being charged as an adult and is being held at the Seminole County Juvenile Detention Center as the investigation into the matter continues. 23-year-old Michael Keith Fox is behind bars for allegedly burning a toddler. The incident occurred at around 4:50 p.m. on the 8th of July 2022, when the emergency services responded to a 911 call from a residence on Outpost Road in Noble County, Ohio, requesting an ambulance due to a toddler suffering from burns. Paramedics arrived at the scene, and the child was transported to the Marietta Memorial Hospital. Due to the severity of the burns, officials from the hospital notified law enforcement that after examining the child, they suspected the injuries were the result of abuse. The authorities went to the Marietta Memorial Hospital and began an investigation. The child was then transferred to the Akron Children's Hospital burn unit for more specialized care. In an interview with investigators, Michael allegedly made some kind of confession about harming the child. The Noble County Sheriff's Office said that as a result of the investigation, Michael was arrested and charged with felonious assault, a felony of the second degree, after admissions were made about how the burns had occurred to the child, though the Sheriff's Office did not go into detail. The Sheriff's Office then requested the Health Department to inspect the residence where the child sustained the burns. After the inspection, the residence was deemed unlivable and therefore condemned for human habitation. In addition to Michael's arrest, 61-year-old Jane Walters and 19-year-old Renee Walters were both charged with 1 count each of child endangerment in connection with the toddler's burns. Michael appeared in court on the 13th of July for a bond hearing, and he was ordered to be held at the Noble County Jail without bond. The authorities are considering additional charges against Michael due to the severity of the injuries sustained by the toddler. Felonious assault in Ohio is a second-degree felony punishable by up to 8 years in prison and a maximum fine of $15,000. The Sheriff's Office has not disclosed the suspect's relationship to the baby. 62-year-old Rebecca Bird has been charged with felony abuse of a child. The authorities said that the preschooler teacher was allegedly caught on camera, forcefully grabbing a 2-year-old several times, and in another incident, causing the child to fall to the ground. Deputies said that 62-year-old Rebecca Bird worked at Aldersgate Christian Learning Center in Largo, Florida, from the 12th of July until she was fired on the 18th of July when the school reviewed the surveillance footage. Pinellas County deputies said the mother of the victim was informed by the school that a child had been abused. The authorities do not believe there are any other victims. Rebecca was booked into the Pinellas County Jail.